Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world?
Tonight, the Nation of Islam is reacting with anger to allegations that have put its leader under fire.
Was Malcolm your traitor or was he out?
Betty Shabazz, the widow of the slain Nation of Islam defector Malcolm X, implicated Farrakhan in her husband's assassination.
And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours?
This is why I say it's the ballot or the bullet. It's liberty or death.
Why the Audubon, they said, according to Harry, he said because they knew he would be there.
The game is being played here.
Even if I wanted to, even if I was crazy enough to get a machine gun and try it, I would have never got in.
Those two guys coming together in the winter of 1965 had to be J. Edgar Hoover's worst nightmare.
I totally reject the notion, the allegation that the FBI was directly involved in the murder of Malcolm X.
I now bring before you a man that would give his life for his people.
Nigga, get your hand out of my pocket!
As we reported earlier, the daughter of Malcolm X has been charged with trying to hire a hitman to kill Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. The man Malcolm's family has long believed to be responsible for his assassination nearly 30 years ago. Kabila Shabazz was only 4 when she saw her father shot down in New York City's Audubon Ballroom after giving a fiery speech to his followers. 3 men were later convicted for that murder, but his widow, Dr. Betty Shabazz, said as recently as last year she believed Minister Farrakhan was involved.
Do I think that Louis Farrakhan had? Of course, yes. I mean, it was a matter of, it was a badge of honor.
Khalil Islam, formerly Thomas 15X Johnson, was one of the 3 men convicted and jailed for the assassination of Malcolm X, a crime he contends he never committed. Mr. Islam, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You have long called for a congressional hearing into the assassination of Malcolm X. Do you think the arrest of Kabila Shabazz will force people to indeed do that?
Well, I'm not certain. I think it will have some effect on it.
You've been asked this before. You served 22 years in prison for a crime you say you didn't commit. If you didn't kill Malcolm X, who did?
Well, according to Talmadge Hayer and the affidavits we have through my attorney counselor, he gave the names of the people that conspired with him to commit that crime.
Louis Farrakhan, was he among those people?
No.
He had nothing to do with it then?
No, not to my knowledge. Louis Farrakhan had nothing to do with that. This was done completely outside of his sphere of functioning.
There are 2 schools of thought here. One group says that Louis Farrakhan directly plotted to kill Malcolm X. The other says through his fiery oratory, he inspired others to kill Malcolm X. Would you at least grant that?
That I would, and he's no more guilty than 90% of the men that was in the Nation of Islam at that time, even including myself.
Why do you think then that so many people, including the widow of Malcolm X, Betty Shabazz, believe firmly that Louis Farrakhan was involved in the plot to kill Malcolm X?
Well, I think it's because of his, the statements he's been making down through the years, you know. And if you go by history, if you go by the media, then he has implicated himself. Things that he said, it involves, you know.
He's implicated himself through his oratory, though. He has never stepped across that line and said that he actually told his followers to kill Malcolm X.
Right. Well, as you know, I think you heard mention of John Ali, and that he came to New York a few days or a few weeks before the assassination of Malcolm X. Matter of fact, he even spoke to me. He was going around, I guess he was sent. That was his mission.
All right. Jack Baxter has co-written and co-directed a new documentary called Brother Minister, The Assassination of Malcolm X. You have done extensive research into both men. Do you believe the rift between Louis Farrakhan and Malcolm X was sufficient that Louis Farrakhan could have ordered the murder of Malcolm X?
No. And that's not what we state in Brother Minister. What we believe is that, first of all, Louis Farrakhan was once a disciple of Malcolm X. There came a point where he broke where Malcolm X broke with Elijah Muhammad, and Minister Farrakhan stayed and became the main spokesman against Malcolm X. Now, Minister Farrakhan has admitted, and in Brother Minister, he does admit that he was in the Newark Mosque that fateful day 30 years ago. The way I see it is that Minister Farrakhan was there to show solidarity, and that if perhaps the people who came from the Newark Mosque, who had indeed plotted and killed Malcolm, if perhaps it didn't work, or if they gave someone up and it got traced back to the Newark Mosque, which it did back in those days, that Minister Farrakhan would be that last line of defense before it got any further than that.
In your film, you have a clip of Louis Farrakhan denouncing Malcolm X. I want to talk about that. Let's take a look at it first.
What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours?
Smoking gun?
Well, exactly. Of course. Like I said, down through the years, I don't know why he makes the statements that he makes. I don't know if it would add to his popularity or whether it's his ego or what's involved. See, but if you knew the function of the Nation of Islam, I was the inside man, I was a lieutenant at that time, then you would understand why I'm telling you that I know he didn't have anything to do with that. That's not the way those things are set up. Minister is like, that's the top man in the function of Nation of Islam. And things of this nature that we're talking about, this assassination, it doesn't come through those channels.
I'm going to have to break it off there. Khalil Islam, Jack Baxter, we thank you both for being with us.